Beginning our tests in a completely dark room, and the N960E is going to struggle as it doesn't bring any additional light to the image. You can kind of see us, but there is a lot of pixelation. But the good thing about this webcam is that it comes equipped with a ring light with 3 different brightness levels. It doesn't actually do a bad job of bringing in that additional light, so if you are stuck in a completely dark room, then this ring light will help you out, bringing in natural light from outside, and this is much better than having no light in the room, which is to be expected. We do get some flickering to the image, which is caused by the autofocus. It's not a bad image, but that grain is noticeable, especially in the background with it constantly flickering. Movement is pretty good as well, but we do need more light on ourselves. Switching on the built-in ring light does bring some improvements to the image, but we are definitely still going to need some additional lighting. So bringing in an additional ring light, and this does improve the image, but you will notice that the colours change when we move close to the lens and further away, which is a little weird. It oversaturates us when we move further away, but it does eventually sort itself out. The movement is still looking good, but the microphone does pick up some sound from the autofocus every time it focuses, which is going to be really annoying if you use that internal microphone. This is what we mean. And speaking of the microphone, this is what it sounds like. This is a microphone test using the Nexigo N960E webcam. This is the kind of audio you can expect from the inbuilt microphone. Focusing on a small object, and this performed really well. It does lose the focus a little when we move it towards the lens, but it does pick it back up, and you can get really close to the lens too. Moving it towards and away from the lens quickly, and it does a really good job at refocusing. And due to it refocusing quickly, this means that you can use it as a visualizer to display text. And this also does a really good job on small fonts. Moving on to removing the green screen using OBS, and it does a really good job with removing that green screen, but we are really overexposed with our face being really washed out. Jumping into the configure video option in OBS, and this allows us to untick the box for exposure and manually set it. This produced a much better result and removed that washed out look. You will most likely want to play around with the other settings which are available, as with a little messing around, you will be able to get yourself a better image. If you are just sitting in front of it, then you will get a half decent picture, but if you do move around a little, then that dreaded autofocus noise will get picked up. So you will either want to disable the autofocus completely to prevent it from happening, or use a separate microphone altogether. Nexigo have their own software which can be installed, and this will allow you to manually change settings, and this also allows you to save those changes that you've made. You do get the inclusion of the roll function, which allows the image to be flipped horizontally and vertically. It comes with an inbuilt privacy cover, which is controlled by a piece of plastic under the lens. The only problem with this is that when you try to open and close it, then chances are you will touch that ring light, making it switch on. The head can be moved up and down, but there is no sideways tilt or rotation on this. It can also be attached to a tripod with the inclusion of a 1/4 inch thread on the bottom.